Shalom, 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 my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, the Israelites that the Bible speaks. So welcome, welcome, welcome to another end of the week Sabbath class. I'm your brother Ananias for A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And as always, it's an honor and privilege to come before you each and every week that we had the opportunity to do so, to hit you with another uplifting and edifying lesson. But before we get started, we want to make sure that we give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being His Son, who the world calls Christ in the Paleo Hebrew. And through His strength, sacrifice, and example, we are all able to be here today to be uplifted and edified in the Spirit. So nonetheless, brothers and sisters, I appreciate you all tuning in as always. And we're going to get it started. But as I speak about, or we speak about each and every week, we want to make sure, brothers and sisters, that we consistently pray without ceasing. Pray for our nation of people. Pray for healing, repentance. Pray for your brothers and sisters of the 12 tribes scattered worldwide. Pray for strength in your trying times when you don't know what to do. Pray for the destruction of this wicked kingdom known as Babylon and its system. Continue to pray day in and day out, brothers and sisters, and it will get better, especially when you keep the commandments of the Most High God and have the faith. You know, that's our job. That's our mission as A.O.I members, to awaken the brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, help feed them with this truth. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Those who will tune in later on, Lord willing, appreciate everybody as always. And what we're going to do today is jump right into the class. And today's class is called The Spirits You Entertain Become the Change We Were, or You Were. One more time. The class is called The Spirits You Entertain Become the Change You Were. Understand that, brothers and sisters. So as you can see in the thumbnail, well, I'll just let it play right quick. All praise. So once again, brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? As you watch this class, don't just sit there and be entertained, but take out your Bible, your pen, your pad, your pencils, whatever it is that you use, your markers, highlighters, follow along and take notes. Follow along and take notes. All right. Bear with me right quick. All right. Today's class, once again, is called The Spirits That We Entertain Become the Change That We Were. Now, what is that actually going into? Goes into how we deal with the things that we come in contact with throughout life. You know, every spirit that we allow into our minds, our homes, our habits, and conversations eventually start to do what? Shape our thoughts and our behaviors, our identity, and our futures. You know what I'm saying? When you think about the things that we do, the TV shows that we watch, whether good or bad, they start to shape how we think, how we see, and how we move in life. The music that we listen to, the people that we hang around, all of these different influences or different spirits dictate how we act and carry ourselves throughout life. You know what I'm saying? But what we're going to be going into is how these negative spirits that we be around affect our lives today. And one thing a lot of us have to understand is that spiritual corruption is what plagues us as a people, that got us on the bottom of society right now. We have to identify the problem. And the problem is spiritual corruption among our brothers and sisters, among our nation, in this world that we live in. We living in a world that was given into the hand of the wicked. So quite naturally, everything in this earth right now is wicked, But our job is to awaken our brothers and sisters to this truth, to righteousness, so that they can forsake the ways of this world, so they can come out of this world, out of the ways of Babylon. All right. So one thing we need to understand first is that spiritual corruption does not happen all at one time. Nothing does, to be honest. Everything starts in a slow process, stages, phases. You know what I'm saying? And it's no different when it comes down to us being overtaken or overcome by wicked and evil spirits. You know what I'm saying? It's a process in which these things actually happen and transpire. You know, and the first step would be the exposure step. You know, when you actually open that doorway to being exposed, as you can see in this picture right here, and you got different lusts, different spirits, different temptations that our people end up in. You know, you got your different lusts, your pornography, your drugs, pride, anger, bitterness, worldliness, witchcraft, materialism, disrespect, division, and the list goes on, brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? But the first step to being chained or oppressed or enslaved by these different spirits is by us entertaining about that process of exposure. We open these doors to different things or those temptations. You know what I'm saying? And what we need to understand is that nothing can enter without permission. And I'm going to show you an example of that. Bear with me right quick. I'm going to put this video on the screen. And this is something that came out of a movie that everybody should have seen out that movie Sinners. All right. Fair use. Don't own this material. Fair use. But when you watch these clips, I got two of them, you'll see how they needed permission in order for the spirits to come in. That exposure, that doorway.
People. And we shouldn't go in barging into other folks' places uninvited. So, you've been in and out of here all day. Ain't never need an invite then. Yeah, something ain't adding up. Shit, Stack was my ride up here. I'm supposed to walk back? Ain't my problem. Well, it be your own peoples. Now, I thought you was better than that. But you just like the white man. Can I at least get my money?
Oh, you did such a bang-up job. Now you want to get paid for what you ain't did?
Ain't nobody talking to you, yo drunk. Shut your mouth.
You shut the fuck up. Don't give him shit, Smoke. Don't give him nothing.
Pay attention how an evil spirit had jumped on this brother, had attacked him when he went outside in the movie. Now he coming back trying to get inside. He had to ask permission. He was at the doorway, pay attention, trying to get back into the club, into the party, but he needed permission to enter. Nothing, brothers and sisters, enters without permission. This is that exposure stage.
Careful.
Now we is one people.
You see that? So as soon as he reached his hand out and actually entertained it, the brother turned on. All right? I'll give you another example. Bear with me, bear with me. Keep this in mind, brothers and sisters. All temptations that we endure or come in contact with always have to ask permission. They always have to ask permission.
We believe in equality.
Now, it's not going to necessarily come out and ask you, but that temptation is laid out there for you to either accept or deny. Depending on what decision you make determines the outcome. Whether that spirit was accepted, that temptation was accepted, or ignored or denied. But here's another clip to prove what I'm talking about.
And music. We just came here to play. Spend some money, have a good time.
Fair use, fair use.
Here, I'll show you.
People robbing clean. People robbing clean. And I'll be satisfied having a family.
This ain't bad.
A Lord in that J.
You see that? They playing the music, sounding good. The brother was like, hey, they ain't too bad. He might have actually thought about letting them in. Those spirits are knocking at the door, presenting an opportunity. As it sounds good, it might be good, even though you think it's dangerous, harmful to you. That's how they looking at the situation. I don't know if I should do that or not.
Bird laugh when I pick poor Robin clean. Poor Robin clean. I pick poor Robin clean. Dog getting that Jaybird laugh
Hold
when I
on,
pick
hold on.
poor
Just a minute.
Oh, it's just about to get good.
Now, I believe you, but this here juke joint, blues music.
Can't we just, for one night, just all be family? You don't need to do that, sir. But we're gonna walk real slow, just in case y'all change your mind.
Just in case you change your mind. These are the different stages that we're going to go through in life. Different forms of temptation will present themselves to you. Some might sound good, smell good, taste good. You know, even look good. Sound good. But you got to be dialed in. You got to be focused in your mind to actually know what's good for you and what's not. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we determine how to move in life, by sticking to the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So going back, nothing enters without permission. This is that exposure stage. You allow it around you, it starts to feel wrong at first. But then over time, if you keep entertaining, it's going to become more comfortable to you. And then you need to understand, brothers and sisters, that some spirits, they enter through pleasure or through pain. You know what I'm saying? Spirits influence or knock on the door through music, entertainment, social media, lust, pride, fear, anger, different doctrines, peer pressure, trauma, rebellion, and the list goes on. So you got the door being opened by the curiosity. Here you go, you got these folks up here playing the banjo. In the movie, they some damn demons, some devils. But they playing like good old folks that just live down the street, that just want to play music and make money. And everybody, majority of our people can relate to that. Because how we living in society. Man, they just like us, man. They just trying to make $1, man. But they coming up there with the smoothest butter words to deceive, to get in and destroy. That's why the scriptures tell us in Sirach 12:10, never to trust thy enemy. How do you know who your enemy is? You have to read the scripture. You have to study to show yourself approved. You cannot go off of what you have been told in society, because this society that we live in is built on lies and deception. And they got it on repeat, you know? So we got to be mindful of the things that we do, brothers and sisters. All right, I'm going to go to, I really didn't want to do this, but I'm going to stick to the Bible this time, you know, instead of putting it on the screen, because I want you brothers and sisters to follow along rather than just watching the screen. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to the book of Micah right quick. Now, you know what? Let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 1. Proverbs chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 10. And it reads, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. So you got to try the spirit, brothers and sisters. You got to be aware of the people in the company that you keep around you. Just like he was looking at the man in that video clip. Man, I don't know about y'all, man. This is a juke joint. This is for our people, you know. And they weren't too fond of them. They knew they wasn't keeping the commandments. Proverbs 1:10, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. So you got to be aware of who you kicking it with, having a good time with. Are they godly individuals? Are they sinful individuals? You know what I'm saying? You got to be aware of who you're dealing with. I'm going to go to 1 Kings right quick. But this is the way we got to think and move, brothers and sisters. Let me go to 1 Kings chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 5. Because when you don't know what to do, the scriptures tell you what you should do, how we're supposed to move, by going through the testimony, reading the story of our forefathers and foremothers. This is 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 5, and it reads, in Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of the heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that has given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord, my God, thou hast made thy servant king of David, my father, instead of David, my father, Salah. And I am but a child. I know not how to go out and how to come in. So King Solomon was asking the Lord something. He was declaring and being humble at that time. Even though he was king, he was saying, I know who put me here in this position. He said, but as a child, I know not how to go out or how to come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart, meaning mind, to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge thy so great a people? So what was Solomon doing right there? Asking the Lord for wisdom, for understanding on how to deal with his own people. Not only would that knowledge and wisdom help him to be able to judge, but it would teach him how to go in and go out, how to move as a man in this world. All right. Verse 10, and the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. And Yahweh said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. So right there, brothers and sisters, that ought to teach us and show us what we're supposed to be doing. When we don't know how to move, hey, we got to pray to the Most High. We should be building ourselves up on a day-to-day basis, meditating on the precepts, meditating on the book of the law, the word, the Bible, and applying it to our lives on a day-to-day basis, so we know how to move at all times. But Solomon prayed and asked for that. The Lord came to him in a vision, in a dream, and asked him, what is it that you want? He needed wisdom. That's what we all need to be praying for, so we know what type of spirits will be beneficial to us and what are not, what will end up enslaving us, having us to go down a path that we don't need to be going down. All right. So once we actually get to that exposure stage and those doors are opened up, or those different spirits are knocking at the door trying to tempt you, once you open that door, and then you start to entertain. Bear with me again. You start entertaining that sin, those sinful pleasures. You start entertaining it. You know, what you constantly entertain over time, it stops bothering you. Then you get comfortable with it, even when you know it's wrong. Even when you know it's wrong, brothers and sisters. Just like a lot of us growing up, we didn't have no knowledge of this truth, but we knew what was right, what was wrong, you know, to a degree. The basic things anyway. We know we weren't supposed to be sleeping around with different people. We know we weren't supposed to be smoking or getting drunk, getting high, you know, doing all these abominable things. We knew we weren't supposed to be doing these things, but we was entertaining it. We was listening to it in the music. We was watching it in the movies. We were around those individuals who was teaching us these things. So because we entertained it, or we opened that door to let them lustful spirits in, you know, we started entertaining it. You know, just like for an example, when you listening to angry music, you know, crunk music, drill music, mumble rap, all these different types of genres of music, it'll start to change your speech, your attitude, even how you react to things, and your mindset starts to change. You know what I'm saying? Let me find this picture right quick that I was looking for. Here's a picture right here. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You start messing around with a little sin. Hey, they might have told you to hit the blunt. You know, hey, just hit this. Take a sip. Take a shot. You start playing with it. It's just a little snake. Isn't this interesting? You playing around with it. You learning all about the sinful nature of it. Then it starts to grow, as you can see in this third picture right here. Started to grow up, the man. Oh, he getting comfortable with it. He's not even aware of the dangers that come with it. That sin starts to build, but can't he grip tight? Now it's coming up his leg. It's getting bigger. Get down to 5, it's wrapping around his body. I can hardly shake him loose. And 6, it done got to the point where it's death now. Because we playing around with the sin. Let me get the book of James right quick. All right. James chapter 1. Book of James chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 12. And it reads, blessed is the man that endureth temptation. So right there off top, brothers and sisters, the Lord said you be blessed when you endure temptation, when you're able to withhold from it. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, the kingdom, immortality, favor, reward, which the Lord had promised to them that love him. What does it mean to love the Lord? To keep his commandments. Verse 13, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. He don't have to do it. He's created individual spirits to do so. That's what Satan's job is, to tempt you. That's why he called a tempter, the deceiver, the devil. That's his job. The Lord ain't got to do these things. He created a spirit to do everything. All right. Verse 14, but every man is tempted. So each and every one of us, brothers and sisters, and kids, you will be tempted. All right. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Going back to what we were talking about earlier. That temptation is knocking at the door. You know, fellas, you at work, you got women trying to give you the side eye. They hee and ha and at everything you say. They trying to get in your way. They trying to flirt with you. You know, that's the temptation right there. Trying to get you to do something that you know you shouldn't be doing. That's the temptation right there. And same thing with the sisters. You know, you got brothers. It's more women being hit on than men being hit on by women. You know, so brothers giving you compliments, smiling, making you laugh and shit. I mean, Salaki. That's temptation right there. You know, just like a lot of our women, they like to be on social media and post the outfits, how they look going to the club, how they on vacation, just so they can get some oohs and ahs, some likes and comments online. Being enticed. Somebody on there throwing you some comments in your DMs. But this is what you need to consider. Verse 15. Then, when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. And that's exactly what you see in his image right here. See, picture 1 was that brother, he gave you the eye, he gave you a smile. Or that sister gave you that smile. She bumped into you. You know. Next thing you know, she speaking to you every time she see you now. Or that brother trying to buy you lunch. You know. Or they trying to give you some weed, some pills. Hey, here you go. It's free. It's on me. You take it, you try it out. Oh, man, that feel kind of good. Then you want more. Now you coming back for more. Now you got to spend money. Now they got you. Now you start experimenting. You learning, you watching it. Then all of a sudden your health change, or that individual at work start learning your secrets. This person, they married. Oh, I'm gonna play them now. I'm gonna use this against them to get what I want. Try to manipulate them, blackball them, blackmail them. You know, situation or the man, he pursuing the woman, not knowing her nature, her past, and he go ahead and he sleep with this sister, not knowing she a damn demon. Now he got a fatal attraction on his hand. He a married man, but he got a crazy woman, and now she trying to stalk him, you know, or got him fired from his job, whatever it may be. Or this person smoking weed. But bear with me, brothers and sisters. Give me a second. All right, so lock it, brothers and sisters. So what we're talking about now is how we are moving through the stages of being or entertaining these different spirits, and eventually them spirits gonna end up chaining you or being them chains around your neck, starting to control your life. You know what I'm saying? So we started off in the exposure stage, where those temptations knocking at your door, waiting on you to open it so they can come in and wreak hell in your life. Second stage would be what? You starting to entertain that sin or those spirits. You playing with it when it's small, when you could have turned away and ignored it and fled from it as from the face of a serpent. But you started playing with it till it grew, till it was all over your arm, all over your leg, wrapping around your body, controlling you now. Now it's to the point where it's getting ready to devour you. Because after sin had conceived, I'm going to read that one more time. The book of James, chapter 1, verse, let me see where I was at. 15. James chapter 1, verse 15. Then when the lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin. Sin is what, brothers and sisters? Breaking the Most High's commandments. Breaking the Most High's commandments. All right. Then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So when we do these things, brothers and sisters, we ought to realize that when we break the commandments, sin or death is on its way. Death is on its way. And these are the things that we don't pay attention to. We just feel entertained. We feel the pleasure behind it, the excitement, the thrill, and we keep playing with it. All right. Let me go back where I was at. All right. So we open the door. We open the door to the lust, the drugs, the pride, the promiscuous, the whores living, the whoremongering, the bitterness, the anger, the jealousy. We open the door to these things and start entertaining it by the people that we kick it with, the things that we watch, listen to, absorb, the things that we see on social media. Mainly the things that we listen to. Let me put this on the screen as well. All right. Especially this new music that came out a few years ago called drill music. All right. Let me see. Where is it at? Yeah. Bear with me.
Music is a demonic force, and all the kids are professing and confessing to be on demon time. In history, have we ever heard black people say, I'm a demon, and don't believe in God? Y'all don't see nothing wrong with this. They'll say, oh man, Jesus ain't real. But niggas say demon. No, they don't even, they'll say, oh, angels ain't real.
They accept the demon. So.
Come on, fam. They won't accept Pop Smoke, but they'll accept King Von. They won't accept Boston Richie for snitching, but they'll accept a serial killer. They'll accept the R. Kelly. We keep looking for a black messiah while celebrating our leading demons. Drill music.
See that? Talking about drill music. A demonic force. This is music that was created, I think, in the Chicago area or scene. And this music is built around targeting and killing one another and then making music about it. You know what I'm saying? And celebrating killing somebody or unaliving an individual, you know? But it's the music, it's the melody of the beats, it's the lyrics that's being pushed throughout that music. You know what I'm saying? And it's having the you to want to do these things. You know what I'm saying? So once again, it's going into that entertainment of this sinful nature or that spirit. All right. Let me see where I'm at. And once again, like when the spirits is knocking at the door, it's more or less like a battle for your spirit, for your soul, for your attention. You know. Let me go to Second Ezra right quick. Second Ezra, chapter 16. And we're going to start at verse 61. It says, he made man and put his heart in the midst of the body and gave him breath, life, and understanding. You see that? Gave man understanding. The Most High gave man understanding. Yea, and the spirit of Almighty God, which made all things in search of all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. Surely he knoweth your inventions. So the Most High know our thoughts and what we plan on doing or try to do. And what ye think in your hearts. So once again, brothers, that right there shows you what the heart is according to the Bible. Your heart is your mind, because the heart that Esau told you about that's in your chest, it pumps blood. It doesn't think. I'm going to read that again. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 63. Surely he knoweth your inventions and what ye think in your hearts, even them that sin and would hide their sin. Therefore have the Lord exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. So those sinful things that we do or entertain is going to eventually end up shaming us. All right. Just like you'll see, it happens all the time. Not that it's acceptable or I'm justifying it. But what I would say is you'll have, matter of fact, I use Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. Both of them two high-profile celebrities. I don't know what type of relationship they had. I suppose it's an open relationship. But what they were doing behind the scenes in a sinful nature ended up being broadcast to the world, and it brought shame to both of them and to their family. You know what I'm saying? Even though they might have said this is our agreement. Nah, but they went out there and was committing adultery, fornication. And because they were doing these things were brought to the forefront, and they were shamed behind it. The Most High brought shame to them. Just like a lot of these athletes, they be out sleeping around, it gets brought out. You know, what just happened with Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion. Not that that's a great example, but it's an example nonetheless. When somebody out there doing something off, hey, it's going to be brought to the forefront. All right. Verse 65, and when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. You see that? So when we entertain these different spirits, it's going to bring shame. But in the process of that shame, it becomes part of our DNA, where it becomes a chain around us, where we don't know how to shake that spirit. Just like a lot of brothers dealing with pornography, you know, ain't no telling when they got introduced to it. But once introduced to it, it became a chain where they was constantly looking for it, looking for opportunities to make provision for the flesh, for that moment of pleasure. Had that chain around their neck. All right. Verse 66. What will ye do, or how would ye hide your sins before Yahweh and his angels? It ain't no way that we can hide. They always watching. The eyes of the Lord is always watching. You know, you can't duck the Lord. You can't hide from the angels. You know what I'm saying? So we have to change our mindset at all times, because the more we continue down a demonic path, listening to these different genres of music, telling us to break the commandments, to go against the Lord, it's going to bring forth shame and death to us, brothers and sisters. All right. Let's move on a little bit. Let's go to the book of Matthew in chapter 12 right quick. Book of Matthew, chapter 12. We're going to start at verse 43. Because a lot of us, we try to repent, we'll try to clean ourselves up. But this is what Christ said. Yahweh said. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 43. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest and findeth none. Then he saith, I will go return into my house from whence I came. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. So you done got rid of that spirit, you start changing your life or whatnot, that spirit is gone. Just like a brother or sister who done stopped smoking weed. They done kicked the habit. But temptation still come back around. Those same individuals you used to smoke with, they come around, oh man, you done changed, man. Hey man, this on me, man. Hit this. Or you start smelling that smell. Start taking you back down memory lane. You know, you get enticed by these things. But the moment that you give in, this is what's going to happen. Verse 45. Then he goeth and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be unto the wicked, unto this wicked generation. Excuse me. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 45 we just read. So the Lord is saying, hey, you try to fight that spirit off, whether it's sleeping around, adultery, fornication, smoking weed, whatever it may be, social media, and you kick the habit. You finally was disciplined enough to kick the habit, but that temptation or that lust or that spirit come knocking back at that door again. In the minute that you give into it, guess what, brother? That spirit is coming back in, but it's coming back with a force, with 7 other spirits more mightier than itself. So now you might not only be smoking weed, now you might be popping pills. Now you drinking all the time. Now you an adulteress or an adulterer. Now you might be in idolatry. Now you might start believing in different doctrines. You know, now you just say the hell with the truth all together, because you gave back into that spirit. That house, which is your temple, was clean, but you didn't replace it with righteousness. You just kicked the habit. You didn't study. You didn't build yourself up. You kept moving in that old man spirit. You just stopped eating pork. You just put some fringes on, but you never truly changed. You didn't read. You didn't meditate. You didn't study the precepts. So when tough times came, you reverted back to being that old man. You reverted back to being that old man. Let me get that off the screen. To being that old man. You say, man, I can't deal with this right now. So you go to the liquor store, you get a bottle, and you turn up. You calling up your homeboys from back in the day, talking about I need a sack. Now you rolling up. Now you trying to escape reality. Then you end up smoking again. You go back to work, and all of a sudden they hit you with a random drug test. Now you done lost your job because you didn't want to put down the weed. You've been clean for a good 6 months to a year or longer, and you reverted back. And the Lord put that shame on you, put that belt on your ass. Because you didn't hold true. You didn't build yourself up. You went back to being that old man in the world. So once again, the battle for your soul usually begins with the battle for the attention. For your attention. And it's just a temptation. And that's what Satan do. He'll put that temptation out there for you and try to get you to bite on it, basically. Put that bait on the hook, trying to get you to bite. You know? Smell good. You remember how this used to make you feel, you know? But it's up to you to deny it. To say, nah, I'm past that. That's the old man. I don't need that no more, you know? But when you give into it, understand what's coming. Shame and death, all right? And also, with that spirit that's coming back in that house. Kind of related to, let me see if I can do this. Why I keep doing it? It's kind of like a squatter. If anybody know anything about a squatter, I'm going to show you. This is something that's been going on for the past couple of years and it's been a big problem with it. I'm going to play this.
Why do squatters have rights? Squatters' rights. Why do those two words come together? Every year, I deal with multiple squatter situations. I have a rental right now in Patchogue where I have a woman who just moved in 6 months ago. She's a crackhead. She's got 2 other people living there. The other tenants are upset. There's drug activity. She's outside, half on meth, sweeping all day long.
Now, this is making reference to those spirits coming back. Now, this individual, apparently he sells houses or flips houses or whatnot, and he try to rent them out or sell them. All right. So the process of what he's doing is just like us cleaning out our spirits, cleaning out our temples, removing those bad spirits, trying to eat right, fast, pray, trying to clean the body out. But then you got that spirit come back and squat in there. Just like he was saying, the woman came back and had 2 other people with her.
And it's a nightmare. I've been going through the court proceedings for over 6 months.
You see that? Over 6 months dealing with trying to get those individuals or those spirits back out of the house.
And I say to my attorney, why is this even a discussion? Why is this even an issue? It is very, very simple. You have a woman who's not paying, who's not on the lease, who doesn't own the house, and has no earthly right to be there.
Don't have no right to be there, but the door was open for them to get in there. Just like us opening that door to them different temptations. Allow them spirits to come in just like a squatter. An individual that just move into a house or break into the house and sit there and won't be removed. They come back, they stronger than ever. This man dealing with squatters sitting in his house for over 6 months, going back and forth through the court system.
Why do we have 10 court hearings? Why does this thing keep getting kicked down the road? Why do I have to get on the stand and testify as to why a woman who's not paying, who's not on the lease, is living in a house that she doesn't own?
Now, this is something that they actually put in the law, you know, where you can't just kick a squatter out the house. You got to go through legal ramifications to get them out, or proceedings, excuse me. You got to take them to the court. You got to give them at least 30 days like they attended to get out, especially if they've been in there for a long amount of time and they receiving mail and things of that nature. So you can basically break into somebody's house according to Esau law, stay there, do what the hell you want to do, and when the actual owner comes to try to put you out, it's like you actually stay there. So they got a squatter's law. But these is in representation, brothers and sisters, of these evil spirits, unclean spirits that we tamper with, entertain, and allow to come in. They're going to sit there and bring in more unclean spirits along with them. And it's going to be hard to get them out because at one point in time, you were just trying to get rid of one. But you allow that spirit to come back, that temptation to come back. Now you're dealing with 7 more. So it's going to be hell trying to get things in order.
My feeling, and I'm curious to know what yours is, we're too lenient. You want to squat in the house? All right. If you end up being a squatter, the amount of time that you squatted in the house is the same amount of time your ass should be locked up in a freaking 5x8 cell rotting.
And that's how we feel about you, Esau. Y'all came over and stole land. Y'all should be locked up for everything that you do. All right. But moving on. Once we get to the phase of the entertainment, then the entertainment becomes the agreement standpoint. All right, let me put this on the screen. So we open the door to or expose ourselves to these different temptations of spirits. Then we started entertaining it. Now we in agreement with it. Now we serving it. You know what I'm saying? We serving these different temptations. This is where the bondage comes in. Through repetition. The more you do something, the more familiar you become with it, the stronger in it you become. Hell, even in the world, they say practice make perfect, you know. This is when the mind stops resisting and the spirit becomes a chain. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the book of Galatians right quick. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. And it reads, "Be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." So the things that we constantly be playing with, those are the things that we going to actually get a reward for. So we dealing with sin, what we going to get? Death in return. Shame in return. You know? All right, let me play this video right quick. That's the one I want. Yeah.
But he answers to no one. Most men choose the collar and call it security. You heard the story about the wolf who meets a well-fed dog. The wolf was thin, hungry. The dog was fat, comfortable, fed every day by his master. The wolf says, "Your life looks easy." The dog says, "Come with me. You'll never go hungry again." The wolf starts walking with him. Then he notices a mark on the dog's neck. He says, "What's that?" The dog said, "Oh, that's nothing. My master chains me during the day, but at night I'm free." The wolf turned around and walked back to the wilderness. Most men see that story and think the wolf made a sacrifice. He didn't. He made a decision. The hunger isn't the problem. The hunger is the price of freedom. The collar isn't always a job. Sometimes it's a relationship that you stay in because comfort is better than the uncertainty of leaving. A circle that you stay in because belonging feels better than the loneliness of outgrowing it. A version of yourself that you keep performing because the approval feels better than the risk of being who you actually are. The dog isn't free. He's just full. And there's a difference between a man who has everything he needs and a man who answers to no one. Most men have confused the two their entire life. The wolf goes hungry sometimes, but nobody owns him. And because he's willing to go without, he can't be leveraged. You can't control a man who's not afraid of hunger. That's the most dangerous man alive. Not the one with the most, the one who needs the least. Now, a man who works his job to provide for his family is honorable. That's not weakness, that's discipline. That's the wolf hunting so his pack can eat. The problem is the man who wears the collar and pretends it isn't there, who uses provision as an excuse to never become who he was called to be. The collar isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's the season. The wolf knows the difference between necessary hunger and unnecessary change. The question is, do you? But a wolf.
Yeah. That was a deep video right there, a little clip. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we put on these different chains to serve spirits or individuals, and when it's not even needed. You know what I'm saying? Just like the brother said, the wolf was looking for something to eat. The dog was like, hey, I eat good all the time. Wolf see that collar on his neck, see that print on his neck. Hey, man, what is that all about? That ain't nothing. My master let me off at night, though. What? So sometimes we got to think about these things. What type of chain, what type of leash we got around our neck that's controlling us? That thing that's controlling our lives. Well, we can't even see or experience what life truly is because we got that chain around our neck. And had it around us so long, we don't know no other way. I brought out an experiment, a video a while back. It was called the flea experiment. Basically, where they took fleas and put them in a jar. And these fleas was bouncing up out of that jar. Jumping high as hell, but they put a lid on that jar. And when they put their lid on that jar, they left it on there for like 2 or 3 days. Took the lid off. And the fleas that were in there would not jump out of that jar no more. They had put a limit on how high they could jump. So they stopped jumping to jump out of it. They just jumped as high as that lid was. They had been conditioned to think a certain type of way, you know. And what we need to understand is that sometimes these chains that we have around, they're not always visible. You know, some people are chained by what? Validation, acceptance, attention, porn, laziness, hatred, social media, even being alone. A lot of us are chained like that. So we move in that spirit all the time. We've been alone for so long, we don't know how to adjust and be around people. We be on social media all day. That's all we know. We don't even know how to socialize. All we know how to do is this. You know, laziness. Don't even know how to have any form of drive or passion to get things done. You know, like I said, these chains are not always visible. All right. Let me go to 2 Timothy right quick. 2 Timothy chapter 4. And a lot of these things will have us rejecting the truth just to go stay in the world. Depending on who we hanging around with, how our minds have been shaped, you know, we'll reject everything that we know to be true just to go live in a wicked ass world where there's no benefit to none of us. All right. 2 Timothy chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 7. All right. It says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day. And not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. Do thy diligence to come shortly unto me, for Demas have forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed into Thessalonica. Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia. So Demas, he did what? He got the hell on. He left Paul. He wanted to go hang out in the world. He wanted to go to the brothels. He wanted to pull up. He wanted to turn up, you know. So he left Paul. He said, the hell with it. I'm going back into the world. That's how strong some of these temptations are these spirits. Like I said earlier, Christ said, sometime in that spirit leave, it'll go out wandering in dry places and then say, I'll return back home from where I came. Come back, and then it comes back with 7 wicked spirits more mightier than it, and overtake that individual, and that person becomes worse off than they were beforehand. And that's exactly what happened to Demas. Whatever spirit he had on him beforehand, he fought that off, and he was out doing the work. He was walking around doing mighty things with Paul. But he gave in to that spirit once again, and it took him back into the world. And we've all dealt with individuals. If you've been in this truth long enough, you'll know individuals that have went down that route. You know, we just praying that brothers and sisters repent and pray that the Lord strengthen our spirit to keep us fighting and continuing on this righteous walk journey. Just like Paul fighting that good fight day in and day out. Praying that we stay fervent in the spirit and that our brothers and sisters return are able to fight off them spirits that came and to overtake them. Because nothing is impossible, brothers and sisters, when dealing with the Most High. All right. All right. Let me go to 2 Peter right quick. But once again, let me do this. Once we open them doors once again, start entertaining that sinful nature, those spirits, we become attached to it. We agree with it. We become in bondage, enslaved to it. All right. And go to 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 19. This is what we need to understand what we actually are doing. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 19. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, the same is he brought in bondage. So if you are overcome of these things, let me where that picture at. Just like this brother right here, overcome. That same man is brought into bondage. You're going to end up serving that snake. You see that? When you start to serve and agree with the sin, you're going to start serving. You're going to start making provision for your flesh. You know, if you're an alcoholic or a brother that smoke weed or whatnot, you be going out your way, putting money to the side just so you can buy and support that habit. You can't wait to get off work just so you can fire it up or turn your bottle up to get tore out the frame. You know, you're going to make provision for the flesh. You're going to start serving that sin. Just like the Lord told Cain in the beginning. Let me see if I can find that right quick. I think it's Genesis chapter 4. Bear with me, bear with me. All right. All right. This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 6. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. You see that? So that sin gonna rule over it. You're gonna be serving a seed of corruption when you start worshiping and entertaining these different spirits that are not righteous, not godly. It's gonna bring shame to you and death, brothers and sisters. All right, just like these different apps that we be on these cell phones. We don't even really know and understand. Let me put that on the screen if I can find one. I had to put social media in there. Maybe it'll pop up how I want it. All right, yeah, that'll work. These different forms of social media. We are not understanding enough to understand that they are built to hold our attention, trigger dopamine, which is a hormonal phrase or word to say, wants to trigger your mindset to keep you thrilled or entertained, create emotional reactions, increase dependency, meaning where you have to depend on somebody, and reduce attention span through all that endless scrolling and the different notifications that your phone has. I know this one that I got. I'll leave it sitting still. I might wake up, it ain't made no noise, but if I pick it up and check the time, all these notifications start going off. You know what I'm saying? All throughout the day, notifications. So you constantly checking to see what's coming through your phone, taking your attention away. The endless scrolling, that's taking your time and your attention away. You'll sit there and be scrolling a whole hour that went by. You thought it was 5 minutes. You done wasted an hour of your life. Every chance you get it, you on your phone. It's designed to hold your attention. And as a result, people now have problems focusing. They got a problem with patience, discipline, reading, prayer, meditation, and silence because the mind has become conditioned to what they have programmed it to be. So think about that, brothers and sisters. When you're looking at you and dealing with your own kids or your relationships, if you constantly scrolling day in and day out, you ain't got no patience. You are an impatient individual. You always scrolling. You have no discipline because you're always scrolling. All right. Your reading has decreased tremendously. You don't even pray no more, but you scroll every day. You know, these are things that they have researched and promote to us. And silence, as soon as a awkward moment of silence comes around, everybody grabbing their phone. They can't even ride in the car without grabbing their cell phone. Can't even have a conversation and it goes silent for 10 seconds. They grabbing their phone as if something is more important on these phones. Our minds have been conditioned to do what? To be destroyed. Many people consider cannot even sit in silence anymore because their minds have been trained to need constant stimulation. All of these different apps on the phone. You can buy a house on the damn phone. Find a date. Order your food. Order a car. Plan your vacation. You can do everything on your phone. So our people don't even want to live life no more. They don't want to go outside. They'll go outside on their phone. They don't want to exercise. They'll exercise on their phone. Our minds have been conditioned through the cell phone, through social media. Let me get John 8:32 right quick. We have been in bondage, enslaved by the cell phone. And they promoted it to you like it was an advantage, a benefit. But it was actually for your detriment. To destroy you, to destroy us. Go to the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. You know what? Yeah. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So the truth of the matter is you have to understand what's going on. And that truth is going to set you free, brothers and sisters. It's going to break that chain. When you start understanding that your enemy is behind everything in this world. Your enemies control social media. Your enemies control what's played on the music, on through the radio. Your enemies control what's played in the movies through Hollywood. Your enemies dictate everything. When you start to understand these things and who is in control and why they in control, why your people in the condition they in right now, then that truth gonna set you free. All right. Verse 33. They answer him, we be Abraham's seed, and we never in bondage, we're never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? So you got a lot of our brothers and sisters that think that they ain't in bondage right now. They think they free because they can go to school with anybody, shop where they want, work where they want. They think they are free. Yahweh shall answer them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. So if you live in a sinful life, guess what? You in bondage. You in bondage to corruption, sin. But you think that you're free. Nah, that sin is ruling over you. ruling over you. Now we're gonna move to the fourth phase. All right. Which is what? That transformation or that reflection stage. All right. Where you start agreeing, where each one of us starts to reflect the things that we've been entertaining, the things that we've been in agreement with, the things that we've been in bondage with. That person becomes a reflection of what rules them or rules over them. Once we emotionally attach ourselves to something, we try to defend it, even when we know it's harmful. And they even got a psychological term or a scientific term for that. Let me play a quick little video on that. Pull that down. All right.
Decades, scientists believed the adult brain was fixed. What you had was what you got. We now know that that's completely wrong. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself. This is called neuroplasticity. Every time you learn something new, practice a new skill, or change a habit, your brain physically changes.
So your brain is physically changing. The brain physically rewires itself based on repeated thoughts, behaviors, emotions, and environments, brothers and sisters. So if you around folks that are in a sinful manner or operate in a sinful manner, they either taking the drugs or selling the drugs, you're going to start to pick up them different habits. It's going to start affecting your spirit and soul. Breaking the commandments, whatever it may be, you're going to gossiping and murmuring. You start hanging around those individuals, you're going to pick up that type of spirit. You're going to start gossiping at every chance. You're going to start backbiting and murmuring every chance you get. You know, this is why it's important for us to be able to discern. That's why Solomon asked for discernment. We have to be able to understand what's going on in every environment that we are in, and the people that we hang around, the things that we watch, listen, and soak in.
Neurons form new connections. Pathways strengthen or weaken based on use. This means you're not stuck with the brain you have today. Anxiety patterns can be unwired. New coping skills can become automatic. Recovery from trauma is possible, but neuroplasticity is neutral. It reinforces whatever you practice, helpful or harmful.
It reinforces whatever you practice, whether good or bad.
Ruminate daily, and that pathway deepens. Practice gratitude, and that one strengthens instead. The question isn't whether your brain can change, it's what you're training it to become. You have more control than you think. For decades,
you see that? It's what you put in it, whatever you feed it. All right. Another form of that would be, let me see. Bear with me. There's another term that Esau came up with. It's called cognitive dissonance. It's a psychological conflict resulting from incongruous beliefs and attitudes held simultaneously. Now, what does that mean? People start to protect beliefs or habits because admitting the truth would force them to change. So a lot of our brothers and sisters start to justify their wickedness or the things that they're into. They justify it and protect it, fight for it. Just like a lot of our people, they will fight consistently day in and day out trying to save Esau, try to save these other nations. Because if they were to adhere to the truth, that means they have to change. They can't hang out with Esau no more. You know, they can't be doing the things that Esau does. But because they don't want to change their nature, they don't want to stop celebrating birthdays and these pagan holidays, they're going to fight and justify Esau and these other nations. They don't want to stop eating certain foods, so they're going to justify it, even though they know that it's harmful for them. You know, drinking, becoming an alcoholic, even though they see how it's affecting their body, Their body is hurt all the time. They can't think. They can't focus. Their kidneys is shot. Their eyes is brown. Their breath stink. Whatever it may be, they ain't gonna realize or recognize the sign. That's their cognitive dissonance, where they're gonna continue to drink it. They're gonna continue to fight and justify their wickedness. That's because that sin that we were talking about earlier, that they played around with, it grew and it took over to the point where they can't shake it off. It's too powerful, you know, too powerful. Come on now. All right. So this is where a lot of our people at, where they'll fight to justify their wickedness. Because if they accepted the truth, it means they got to change. All right. An example would be what? Our people being in a addictive situation. They in addiction, fighting addiction, excuse me. They gonna fight for that. They gonna say, oh man, I just do this because it makes me feel good. Or I'm going through a lot right now. You know, nobody understands me. That's why they're gonna do what they do. But it's possible to recover from that. You know, even when they are supporting a corrupt system, they think that they're doing good because they don't know what's going on. So they'll go out there and have us or have rallies and parades, all type of things, talking about go vote for a system that we all know is not beneficial to us. We'll listen to destructive music, knowing it ain't no good for us. We'll see how we put tattoos and all this on our faces now, looking like what you call them? Damn, I can't think of their name. Gizmo. Damn, what the Gremlins? There you go. We looking like Gremlins. We in the Gothic style of living. We don't even know what we doing. Listening to this destructive music. We in toxic relationships, you know. But we'll say the hell with it. I love it. He loves me. She loves me. We'll stay for this. All right. Where I'm at now. Sometimes these chains become so comfortable that people mistake them for freedom. The chains that we got around our neck, we'll think that there's some form of freedom. Oh, I can go out and party when I want to. Or I'm just chasing the bag. The social media, that just help me connect and network. Or I just take this to help ease the pain. Or I didn't drink this so I can escape reality. Or this video game just helped me relieve time. Or it ain't like that, brother or sister. Nah, you got all these different demons on you, controlling you. Chains controlling you. And you don't even realize it. But anyway, how do you fix it? Instead of being exposed to it, be aware of what the situation is. Instead of entertaining it, brothers and sisters, be convicted to stand 10 toes down for the words of the Lord. You know? Let me take this off the screen. Instead of being in agreement with it, hey, repent. Know your mind is telling you before you even go down that road and whether or not it's a good idea or not. You know what's good and what's not. You know? So instead of you continuously going down that road, hey, repent. And rather than being in bondage to that sin or to that spirit or to that temptation, discipline yourself. That's why the Lord tells us to fast and pray to get rid of those different spirits, to stop feeding them. Because what you feed tends to grow, brothers and sisters. And what you starve, it dies. So instead of transforming into these different things or these different spirits, renew your mind. Renew your mind. And when you hang around different people, let's go to 1 John chapter 4. 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. And it reads, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. So you got to be aware of the people that you hang around, even the ones that you listen to. Know where their objective is. Know where their mindset is at. See their actions. See the fruits of their labor. Try the spirit. Ask them different questions to see where their mindset is. You know? Because it's a lot of different spirits that's gone out into the world. False prophets. Going out into the world to deceive, to manipulate, to control, to enslave our brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? And another way of doing it, how to fight these different temptations and spirits when they come knocking at your door. Let's go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. The book of Ephesians, chapter 6. And we're going to go to verse, I'm going to start at verse 11. You see how large a letter I have written unto you with my own hand. As many as desire, it's just wrong verse. Slacky. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. I start at verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So you got to put on the armor of the Most High. You got to put this word on. You got to be in your mind. You got to be reading and studying and meditating day in and day out. You can't be leaning on your own understanding. Oh, I got to do this. No. What you need to do is do thus saith the Lord. Put on the whole armor that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against the flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the spirit, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So it's spiritual wickedness in these high places. These individuals are the ones who do what? Who own Hollywood, the record labels, the sports teams, the ones who own the social media, the ones who own the farmland, who own everything. These are rulers of darkness in high places, in spiritual high places, that control a lot of things. And their job is to do what? To manipulate you, capture your mind, capture your attention. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put on a whole armor to be able to bear the wiles of the devil. As they shooting them darts at you, trying to tempt you, trying to expose you and enslave you to a seed of corruption, you got to be able to duck and dodge and be able to put that armor up. Because the spirit you entertain today may become the master you fight tomorrow. Think about that. Think about that, brother. Also, what habits are you quietly chaining to yourself? And what are you feeding on a day-to-day basis, brothers and sisters? What is it that you feed? Are you feeding your spirit with righteousness, with the word of the God, with the word of the Most High? Or are you feeding it with what they put on the TV or what's on social media all day? Is your mind conditioned to just scroll all day, where you have no patience, where you have no drive, no ambition, you have no desire to serve the Lord? You don't read anymore. You don't pray anymore. You are enslaved. You are chained around your neck by your jobs, by your relationships, by your own thoughts, by the people around you. The spirits that we entertain, brothers and sisters, are the same chains we end up wearing. But Lord willing, you brothers and sisters learn something tonight. I'm Brother Ananias for A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And I pray and hope that you brothers and sisters were edified. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai for the abundance of all things. But nonetheless, I say shalom, shalom, peace and greetings to you all. And Lord willing, we'll be able to gather together next week. Until then, shalom, and I'm out.